Hello, mighty companions. This is Earl Purdy. I want to welcome you to Facebook Live, A Course in Miracles. And we're going to be hearing today about how we can choose to change every thought that hurts us. Any thoughts that hurt us in any way. So if you got any kind of thoughts that you think are hurting you in any kind of way, and how to change your thoughts and how to accept the new truth, that's what we're going to be covering today in A Course in Miracles. Again, I'm Earl Purdy. I want to welcome you on Facebook Live. And we're going to do our theme song, The Course in Miracles lesson, I am not a victim of the world I see, while we're all gathering. Here we go. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. I'm not a victim of my mom. I'm not a victim of my pa. I'm not a victim of events and circumstance at all. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. What's happening now is what I done to me. That's all. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. Earl Purdy. I want to welcome you to Facebook Live, A Course in Miracles. That's a course in correct perception, a course in the expression of love and the expression of peace. A miracle is a correct perception. A miracle is a forgiving perception. If we have a loving perception, it's a miracle. I'm not a victim of the North. I'm not a victim of the South. Not a victim of anything except what comes out my mouth. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. Help me out now. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim now of the world I see. Now remember this. You need not believe the ideas. You don't have to believe what you are about to hear. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. What's happening now, whether you believe it or not, is what you've done to you. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I done to me. Oh yeah. Okay. Lord have mercy. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. You're not a victim of the world you see. You're not a victim of the world you see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. You're not a victim of the world you see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. You're not a victim of the world you see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. You're not a victim of the world you see. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy. And we're going to learn today how we can choose to change any thought that hurts us. We're going to work on, today we're going to talk about how do you undo old thinking and acquire new thinking. How do you undo old thinking that's bringing you any kind of pain and acquire new thinking? That's what we're going to talk about today. Remember, I see myself as a divine repetition teacher. The hearing, it's all about, it's like, no, it's really about, I'm a remembering coach. I'm a remembering coach. That's what I do now. I'm a remembering coach. The Course in Miracles says it's not about understanding, it's about practice. It's not about whether or not you understand everything I say today. It's about, well, will I be willing to practice what the Course in Miracles, which is a course in how to have expressions of love and peace and joy. It's like, how do I allow myself to change my mind? How do I allow myself to change my mind? How do I allow myself to look at things differently? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And so it's always a pleasure to be here with you. It's a pleasure to be here with you online. It's a pleasure to be here in person, here on Facebook Live. And I'm going to be jumping around today. And I'm going to start out with the guidelines for the Course in Miracles. If you're here for the first time and you're watching this for the first time, these are the only guidelines that you need to remember in this class. And it's straight from the Course in Miracles, which is, you need not believe the ideas, which people are pretty successful at doing. Then it says you need not accept the ideas, which people are pretty good at doing. Then it says you need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you might actively resist. So it's saying some of the ideas you might not just regular resist. It says some of the ideas you may actively resist. And then it says, guess what? Some of the ideas I share from the Course in Miracles might be hard to believe. So I might say some things that you say, that's hard to believe. Okay. You might say that. Then it says, some of the things I say may startle you. And you're not asked to judge the ideas at all. Oh, my favorite thing to do is the one thing it asked me not to do. What is it? Not in the need. I love how it says, you're not asked. I think that's a great way to put it. Nobody's asking you to judge. So, you can take the robe off. If you're coming here to judge, then, please spare me. Spare me. I can do a good enough job of judging myself. I don't need to have people come in and do it too. To hire nobody. I have one purpose, and that purpose is love, and that purpose is peace. That's the only reason why I'm standing up here, is to bring more peace into my life, hopefully to be a means of bringing more peace in other people's lives. That's why I'm standing up here. That's why I'm sharing this. That's why I'm being a messenger. It's a message of love. It's a message of peace. It says, how will I know that anything you're telling me, Earl Purdy, how can I tell that the Course in Miracles will work? He says, well, it's the use of the ideas. You mean I have to use the ideas to give the ideas meaning to me? Yes, Earl, you have to use the ideas. And if you use the ideas, that will show you that the ideas are true. If you use the ideas, 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 not if you analyze the ideas, not if you analyze the ideas, if you use the ideas. So I'm going to start out by, I'm going to start out, something I want to share. And I want to see if anybody in here have ever had this feeling. It's one of my favorite lessons in the workbook. And the very first paragraph is so awesome. It says, it's lesson 185 in the workbook of the Course in Miracles on page 348. Lesson 182. The name of this lesson from the Course in Miracles workbook is, I will be still an instant and go home. The name of this lesson is, I will be still an instant. I'll be quiet an instant, I'll be still an instant, and go home. I'll be quiet an instant and go home. I'll be still an instant and go home. It says, this world you seem to live in, this world that you seem to live in isn't home to you. This world is not your home. This world is not your home. This world is not your home. He says, the world you seem to live in is not home to you. And somewhere in your mind, you know that this is true. Somewhere in your mind, you are asking yourself, how the hell did I wind up here? That's the Earl Purdy version of that line. He says, somewhere in your mind, you know that our Creator, something that loved you, would not put you in a world with as much fear and conflict and anger and danger. You wouldn't do that to your worst enemy. So do you think that which created you did it to you? The Court says, somewhere inside of you, you know this is not your home. That there's a memory of God, there's a memory of home that keeps haunting you. What do you mean? It's like there's a place that's calling you to return, even though you don't recognize the voice, even though you don't recognize what it is the voice is reminding you of, yet still you feel, if you be honest with yourself, he says, yet still you feel an alien here. That you feel like you're from somewhere that you don't remember, a place all unknown. He says, there's nothing so definite that you could say with certainty that there's a part of you that feels like an exile here. That you have this persistent feeling, no more than just a little tiny throb. Sometimes you have this, not a regular throb, but you have a little tiny throb. And at other times, hardly remembered. At other times, actively dismissed. But surely you got this persistent feeling that something's wrong. This could not be, this is not my home. Now I know that some people don't feel that way. Some people don't remember home. Some people don't remember that this is not their home. But there are some of us that absolutely, from the time we were kids, have felt like this was not the ultimate reality. That there's something more to life than what we are experiencing here. There's something's missing that we know that we have been accustomed to and that we're used to feeling. The Course in Miracles says there's a part of you that knows this is not your home. That you know that your home is not supposed to be anywhere that you could be afraid in or hurt in. In other words, there's a part of you that knows this is not where you originated. There's a part of us that knows that. Is there, so I want you to ask yourself, is that true? If not, at some time in your past or even now, you've always felt like, there's more to this than meets the eye. This really isn't my home. There's something about this that's askew, that isn't exactly right. So he says that. So I just wanted to share that to get people to tune into the part of them that knows this isn't our home. But this is our school. How many of you have ever gone off to school? Even if it was like locally, going from home to college, right? Okay, that's what you've done. This is Earth School. This is a school. This is a school, but it's not home. This is a school, but it's not home. So what do we want to do? What are we here to do? What are we learning? Why am I here? I'm here to get rid of every block, every thought, every feeling, every emotion that keeps me from being happy. I'm here to learn how to let go of everything that keeps me from having peace and happiness and joy. I'm here to learn how to let go of every block to love. You're here to learn to let go of everything that keeps you from loving me. You're here to learn how to let go of everything that will keep you from loving me and me loving you. We're here to get rid of every block, every thought, every feeling, and every emotion that keeps us from knowing that we are loved, loving, and lovable, and that we were created by love. So the Course in Miracles is saying, if you wonder what the purpose of the Course in Miracles is, okay, Earl, what is the purpose of the Course in Miracles? The purpose of the Course in Miracles is to remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence inside of me. I want to know love. I want to receive love. I want to extend love. I want to experience love and not the insanity that I see on TV or the insanity that I see around me. I want to experience safety and joy and love and connection. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to recognize myself as you. To recognize myself as you, to recognize you a part of me and I'm a part of you, and we're one. Whew. Well, buddy, you got a while to go. Let me sit down. I love to work out of this book. So, I'm jumping down. Because remember, today's class is about how does the process of changing my mind happen, and how do I let go of the blocks, right? So what I want you to do, if you got the workbook, if you got the book, go to lesson 284 in the workbook on page 439. Page 439 and lesson 284 in the workbook. Okay. Because my focus is going to be, from here on out, on two things. My focus is going to be the practical application of the ideas in the Course in Miracles and remembering what it's saying. I'm only interested in how can I apply what this book says to the stuff that I'm going through right now in my life. I'm not going to be focused really on what the Course calls theoretical issues. I'm not going to debate issues like whether there's reincarnation and what happens after you die. And, I'm focusing in on, I could elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Okay, I can choose to change every thought that's hurting me. You can choose to change every thought that's hurting you, but there's a process that you have to do in order to do that. So the Course in Miracles says loss is not loss when properly perceived. So how can I tell when I'm seeing things correctly is I won't feel like I've lost anything. How can I tell when I've had a breakup in a relationship that I'm looking at that breakup? It would be, I didn't lose nothing. How can you tell when you're perceiving any change in your life correctly? You go, I didn't lose anything. I haven't lost anything. So the Course says loss isn't loss. When you see loss correctly, it says pain is impossible. What? What did you just tell me? Pain is impossible. There is no grief that doesn't have a cause. Suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. What? Any kind of suffering is a dream. Any suffering is a dream. Any suffering is a dream. Any suffering is a dream. Boy, that's startling. That's hard to believe. I told you it would be. Remember at the top of the class when I took you through that whole thing about you might find some of these ideas startling and hard to believe. Now, it's sort of like this. What the voice has been saying to me has been, the truth is a fact, and facts don't care about your response to them. Gravity exists whether I like it or not. Gravity exists no matter what mood I woke up in this morning. Gravity exists whether I'm happy or sad. Gravity exists no matter how I feel. Could we agree? Okay, that's what makes it a fact. So what you just heard from A Course in Miracles were facts. Not that you necessarily believe it, not that you necessarily agree with it, not that you necessarily even like it. The Course in Miracles says, here is the facts. Here are just the facts, ma'am. No matter what you think, you never lose. I don't care how much you think you've lost in the past. I don't care how much you think you've lost in the past. Fact is, you have not lost. You may not know you haven't lost, but I'm just giving you the facts, ma'am. Facts number 2, it's impossible to truly be in pain. I didn't say you didn't think it was possible to be in pain. I didn't say that you might not feel like you're in pain right now. But the Course is saying, what I want you to really know is that pain really is impossible. There's no way you'll ever have a pain that will last forever. Because the Course in Miracles definition of something that lasts forever is something that's real. The Course says if it's permanent, if it's always there, and you can always depend on it and count on it, that's the Course in Miracles definition of what's real. So when the Course in Miracles says something isn't real, it's saying something is temporary. So it defines things that do not last as not real. It says, if I really love you, my love for you will never change. It will grow, it will expand, but I'll never stop loving you. Gravity doesn't take off for the 4th of July. Right? It's a fact, so it happens no matter what. So the Course is saying if you could get to the point that you would realize you may be grieving, but there's no real reason for you to grieve. Didn't say you didn't grieve. Didn't even say you wouldn't think you had a reason to grieve. It says that there is no grief within the cause at all, and suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. Okay, then it tells us that, and then we say, whoa, what are you talking about? I've suffered and it's not a dream. Well, then that's where the actual study of the material comes in. The actual study of the material and doing the workbook lessons is what makes you come to the realization that there is no loss, pain is impossible, there is no reason for grief, and suffering is a dream. It's when you go through the process of changing your perception and learning a new way of looking at it that you'll see that that's true. So none of it makes any sense from the way that I already think. None of this makes any sense from the perspective of my past experiences and what I've learned from the world. But that doesn't mean it's not true. So what do I need to do? I need to learn how to see it correctly. So now the Course in Miracles is going to tell you how you accept the truth and have that truth manifest in your experience. So if there's a new idea that I want to accept, if there's a new way of looking at things that I really want to believe, if I want to change my mind, what are the steps to changing my mind? What are the steps to changing my mind if I need to see things differently in order to be happy? If I need to see things differently in order to have peace, what are the steps? What are the steps that I would take to do that? Well, the Course is about to tell us. What are the steps that I would take? It says, well, the first thing you do is you realize that first you have to say it. So if I'm going to believe that I can change every thought that hurts me, I need to say it. What? I don't understand. I know you're not that dense. I know nobody's in here is so dense that they don't understand. Say it.
I can change.
Say it, right. He says the first step is the truth is but say it. So so whatever it is I want to believe about myself, whatever it is that I want to recognize as the truth, I need to start saying it. I need to start saying I deserve love. I need to start saying I'm lovable. I need to start saying I'm innocent. I need to start saying I'm spirit. I need to start saying I'm responsible for my experience. I need to start saying I'm entitled to miracles. I need to start, first, anything that I want to start to really use as my way of thinking. The Course in Miracles says the first thing you need to do is you need to say it, and then what was the next thing it said? It says, and then repeat it many times. So first I got to say it, and then I got to repeat it many times. First I say it, then I repeat it many times. If someone tells you I love you and they repeat it many times, and they keep repeating it many times, and they keep telling you consistently they love you, and they don't attack you, and they keep repeating it many times, what do you think is going to start happening within you as far as believing whether they love you or not? You're going to believe it. You're going to believe it. There's no way you wouldn't believe it. But if they never repeat to you and say to you how much they appreciate you and how much they love you, but they're always repeating to you and saying to you how much they don't appreciate you, criticizing you, judging you, telling you what you need to do differently, then you're going to believe that. So I tell people all the time, there's no more important person in your life than the one that you choose to have an intimate, romantic friendship or relationship with. Because that's the person that you're going to be using to validate yourself in so many ways all the time, because they're the ones you're listening to and watching the most. Because one of the biggest laws and most important laws in spirituality is the law of correspondence, which means what you're seeing on the outside is a reflection of what's going on in the inside. You show me a person that you're attracted to, and I'll tell you what your level of consciousness is. Your level of consciousness is the level of consciousness of your lover. your friend, your intimate friend, anybody that you have a special relationship with, that's your level of consciousness. Because you'll tell yourself anything. You tell yourself you're the most enlightened person that ever walked the earth, and then be with an axe murderer. Because, man, but did you see his muscles? Okay. The better they chop you with, might be. But he was so cute. I could get a prosthetic, you know. Okay. So listen to me. I'll go to sleep. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm okay. Because if I see you as innocent, you're innocent no matter how you respond to what I'm saying. And it takes the pressure off of me. So, no problem. No, because nothing knocks people out and tunes them out more than to give them the answer to their pains and problems. You want to see people go unconscious? Tell them the solution to their problem. Then you'll realize they want the problem more than they want the solution. Because if you really wanted the solution, you'd be riveted to what I'm saying right now. If I really wanted to change my mind in order to right now have a new experience of myself, and this is saying to me, I'm going to tell you the steps to doing that, and you really were tired of thinking the way that you think, what would you be doing? You'd be on the edge of your seat trying to make sure you were hearing everything I was saying. If you want to still keep maintaining the pattern and the pain that you're already going through, you're going to tune out. And that lets you know that there's a part of your mind that still wants you to suffer. And the part of your mind that still wants you to suffer will tune out anything that's going to get rid of your suffering. So if you meet a really loving person, you won't be interested in them if you think you need to suffer. If you think you've had enough suffering, you'll be attracted to those who appreciate you and acknowledge you and recognize you. So the Course is saying that if I'm going to accept a new truth, he says first you have to say it, then you have to repeat it many times. And after you repeat it many times, next to be accepted as partially true. Okay, so first I'm going to tell you, you don't love yourself. I'm going to help you love yourself. The way I'm going to help you love yourself is I'm going to tell you the truth is what you deserve love, and I love you. I'm going to keep telling you I love you as much as I possibly can and letting you know I love you as much as I possibly can. I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to repeat it. And then if I keep saying it and I keep repeating it and you keep hearing it and I keep repeating it, the first thing you're going to do is say, you know, this might be partially true. First, I didn't love myself at all and I didn't see the truth in me at all. But I'm being told constantly that I am valuable, and that I am loved. This is the truth. And so because I'm saying it and repeating it, they're saying it and repeating it. Now I'm beginning to experience it as partially true. And then it says, but what does it mean to accept the new idea as partially true? It means you have many reservations. So what? I'm telling you that you're innocent and you deserve to be happy and that you're lovable and that you should be happy and that you deserve to be happy. I'm telling it to you over and over again. You start to believe it with some reservations. The Course says that's the next thing. The next thing is you'll start to believe it, but you'll have many reservations. Do you see why I'm trying to remember this? Because what he's doing is, the Course in Miracles is telling me exactly what I need to do to change my mind, and also it's telling me what I'm going to do while I'm changing my mind. First, I'm going to hear it and not necessarily believe it. Or even be necessarily that interested in even hearing it. Why? Because I think that what you're telling me has nothing to do with really solving my problem. If I thought what you were telling me had something to do with really solving my problem, then I would hear it. The Course says when you are listening to something that somebody is saying and you really don't believe it's true or you don't really believe it's your problem, then you won't think that it's relevant to what you're going through. Because you've already decided that what you're going through is based on something else. If I think my boyfriend didn't treat me good because he doesn't like my hair, then the real reason why he's not treating me good, which is that I feel separate from God and separate from love, would have no relevance. See, it doesn't seem to the average person that every problem that they're going through right now, they're going through that problem because they don't have a relationship with God. There's not many people that realize every single problem on every single level that they think they're going through in any area of their life is because they don't recognize their connection to their source. That they're not in touch with what created them. And so if you tell a person that the reason why they're going through this horrible situation or challenging situation that they're going through is because they haven't healed their sense of separation from their Creator, and they don't believe that's the problem, then what you just said to them won't have any meaning. It won't have any real relevance. So you'll hear me say that, but it won't mean nothing to you. That's what he's saying. That when I tell you the real answer and you think the answer is something else, he said, well, then you're not going to see the relevance of the answer, so you won't really ever get the problem solved because you still think the problem is what you think it is. And then he says, well, how can you tell that you are wrong about what you think the problem is? He said, well, how can you tell when you are wrong about what you think the problem is? He said, you'll still have it. And I go, duh. Oh my God, you mean the fact that I still have a problem means my idea about what I think it is absolutely wrong? Yes. So how do I change? Well, then you need to hear the answer. And what? You need to say it to yourself. You need to repeat it to yourself. You're going to have a lot of reservations about it. And then it says, then you're going to consider it seriously. So the next stage after having reservations about the answer is you're going to start seriously considering it. So some people on their spiritual path right now are at a stage on their spiritual path where they're seriously considering all these ideas they've been studying for years that they've been talking and not living at all. I know within myself, and I know a lot of people who think they're spiritual. It's just like I have sometimes do the same thing or think I know, but I still got the problem. So that means I don't know. So the Course says, well, you need to hear the answer. The answer, first of all, is that you can change every thought that's hurting you. You can change everything that's hurting you. That's the truth. I'm stating it. Then I'm going to say it to you over and over again. You can choose to change every thought that upsets you. You can choose to change every thought that hurts you. You can choose to change every thought that makes you afraid. You can choose to change every thought that keeps you lonely. You can choose to change every thought that keeps you broke. You can choose to change every thought that makes you feel guilty. You can choose to change every thought that makes you feel angry. You can choose to change every thought that hurts you. You can choose to change every thought that hurts you. So first, I need to say that to myself, and then I need to repeat it to myself many times with many reservations, because sometimes I don't think I can choose to change my thoughts. So I got some reservations about that. And then I'm going to consider it more and more as I keep saying, you know what, maybe I can change my thoughts about them. Maybe I can change my thoughts about them. Maybe I can change my thoughts about this relationship or this circumstance that I'm going through right now. And then the Course says the last thing you do is you finally accept it as true. Okay, so I keep repeating it until I can accept it as true. What is it I can accept it true? That I can elect to change all the thoughts that hurt me. I can choose to change all. So you get to the point you go, oh, I don't have to think this way. I can choose not to feel this way. And guess what happens? You do it. What? You do it. You get ready to, you angry and upset, instead of cussing somebody out, you would choose to change the thoughts that make you want to cuss anybody out, and you don't do it. You're used to being a very jealous person, but you choose to change the thoughts of jealousy, and then all of a sudden, you stop feeling jealous and you stop being jealous. The Course says, but it ain't going to happen just because you're reading about it, and it's not going to happen just because I'm telling you this, and it's not going to happen just because you're reading it. I have never read a recipe book and watched the cake pop up on the counter. Now, I personally haven't had that experience. Have you? Okay. So why do you think that's going to be true about changing your mind about yourself and allowing your life to shift and allowing more love to happen in your life? Why do you think that that's going to happen without you actually doing what the recipe book says, is what Spirit said to me? How do you think you're going to ever start loving yourself if you're never telling yourself anything differently from what you're already telling yourself? Because what you're telling yourself already is what's determining the way that you're feeling right now. So then it goes on to say, I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt me. Finally, I have to accept it as the truth. I have to accept the fact that you can change your thoughts. I have to accept that as the truth. And when I accept it as the truth, then I'm going to start doing it. So how can I tell when I really change my mind? My behavior automatically changes. There's no way that a person has really changed their mind and they're still behaving the same way they always have. So then it says, and I would go, oh yeah, I'm really going to focus in on the Course and the material. So again, I'm going to say again, the Earl of the past is dead and gone. Okay, this is present day Earl Purdy. Present day Earl Purdy is going to put the focus on his classes on the practical application of the ideas. Its focus is going to be on how can we hear what this is saying and how can we use it in a practical way in our experience. That is my focus, and I'll tell you why it's my focus. I teach best what I need to learn. I teach best what I want to learn. And you should start doing that too. You should tell people what you want to hear. And you should treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't worry about how they're treating you. You just be clear about how you want to be treated, and that's the way you treat them. That's how you do it. That's how you make the change. So right now, I'm tired of sitting around talking about what the Course in Miracles is saying and then not applying it in my life at the level that I know I should be applying it in my life. And I want to join with other people who also are tired of suffering, and this is the way that they've chosen that they want to get rid of their suffering also. So we're all on the same page as far as the curriculum that we want to use in order to get out of our pain. So if you're not a Course in Miracles student and you're not interested in the Course in Miracles, then this class is probably not going to mean anything to you. But if you're somebody like me who loves the Course in Miracles and has been obsessed with it, like I have for the last 40 years, and you want to master what this is saying and hear what it's saying, then I am your teacher. That's as simple as I can put it. If this is your path and it resonates with you, then I could be your teacher. It's a possibility, because I want to join with people who want to apply the truth and change their mind so that they can stop suffering and we can experience some love. Because I realize if we could treat each other the way the Course is saying people that really love each other treat each other, that would be all we would need to do to recognize that it was true. Then we wouldn't have to abstractly wait for God or some higher power to miraculously create this loving world, because we would become the instruments of it, and we would be seeing it operate because that's the way we would be relating to each other. So then I wouldn't have to wonder if there are people that I could be safe with, because I'd be a safe person, and so I'd start attracting people to me that are safe for me to be with, who in your ego would probably find them intensely boring. Because people who don't love themselves yet and recognize their oneness with a higher power yet love to keep drama! 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 Because what else would they have to talk about? If I have a dull, boring, routine life that's not the expression of my true creativity, the only thing that's going to make my day interesting is how much drama and conflict I create for myself all the time. So I got a relationship that's full of conflict, relationships that's full of conflict, financial situations that's full of conflict. That's me trying to make my life interesting. That's me trying to make my life interesting. So the Course in Miracles says to us that we can go beyond our words, because what happens is you'll get to the point that you don't have to talk about love because you'll be it. So I don't have to talk about it because I'll be it. And so I love that. And so now do you know how you would incorporate a new belief system or a new truth into your life? How would you do it? First I'd say it, right? And what?
And then I'd repeat it.
And then I'd repeat it. First I say it, then I repeat it. What else is the new thought I want to believe?
Do it again.
Then I'm going to repeat it again.
And again.
And again. And again. And again. I love how the Course in Miracles says no matter what the problem, the answer is the same. At the very least, you should be glad that you don't have to try to figure it out no more. Because if there's a different answer for everything that comes up, you got to come up with something new to deal with everything that shows up. But what if the same answer would work on no matter what your problem is? And that's one thing to remember. And doesn't that feel better to believe you just got one thing to remember? So just the fact that, so what is the answer to every problem no matter what the form? The answer is I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Because the pain that I'm going through is not coming from what the person is doing or the situation. The pain is coming from the meaning that I'm giving to the situation. The pain is coming from what I'm telling myself. That's why he says I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can change I can elect. I love that too, like he almost acts like you're voting. He says, I can elect to change all thoughts. That's what I'm going to choose. Okay, so I have thoughts about you and it's hurting me. I'm going to choose to stop thinking the thoughts that I'm thinking about you that's making me feel bad. I'm going to choose to stop thinking the thoughts about myself that make me feel bad.
Can you imagine how packed this class would be if that word was people, situations?
Yeah. If I can elect to change all thoughts, all people. But the Course in Miracles says that we have a plan for happiness he calls it our plan. And when I first heard that, I thought it was talking about like my plan to try to be a college professor, and so I got to go to college, and then I got to figure out that plan to make myself that's not what he's saying. When the Course talks about our plan, he says in lesson Only God's Plan for Salvation Will Work, lesson 71, I think it is. He says that our plan is if everything and everybody outside of us changed, then we would be happy. He says our plan is something's outside of us has got to change, and then we'd be happy. That if another person spoke or acted differently, if we were in another situation or circumstance, if we moved here, got another job there, got another, he said our plan is that everything needs to change but us. He calls it our plan. That we're going to use our mind to come up with every way my mama needs to change, but not using my mind to come up with every way I need to change the thoughts that's hurting me about my mama. And if you think about it, that's exactly what, this time your friends are talking to you or you're talking to anybody and they're upset, I guarantee you 99 and 9/10% of the time they're going to be upset because of something outside of themselves isn't going the way they want it to go, and somebody's not acting the way they want them to act, and somebody's not treating them the way they want to be treated. It's always something outside themselves that needs to change in order for them to be happy. And the Course in Miracles calls that our plan. Not your plan to be a teacher. It's your plan to figure out how you can get everybody around you to act out your scripts so that you can be happy. And that can be as simple as a person doesn't cut me off in traffic. And if they had not cut me off in traffic, I'd be happy. So my plan is, for the rest of my life, everybody has to never cut me off in traffic for the rest of my doggone life in order for me to feel good. So that's my plan. My plan is my mama who ain't never changed in 50 years. My plan is when I can get my mama to do something different, then I'll finally be able to be happy. Oh, don't even mention special relationships. Special relationships is like the epitome of that attitude. It's just like watching two couples in a counseling session is 99% of this. If you were different, I'd be happy. No, 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 if you were different, I'd be happy. You told me you loved me more. No, if you dressed different. No, if you came home on time. If you just, it's like if you would be honest with yourself, you would have to say every time you're unhappy about anything, it's some form of you telling yourself if something that you have absolutely no control of, usually, were different, I'd be happy. I have no control of my partner, my children. I have no control over you all whatsoever. If I made my life dependent on what everybody in this room did, I would never be happy for the rest of my life. Now, I haven't met anybody who would disagree with this, but then I've watched the same people who would agree with me that our happiness has to come from within, 5 minutes later tell me something that they're upset about again about something somebody isn't doing. I see that all the time. People go, oh yes, happiness comes from within, but you don't know what my boyfriend did. So you don't even see, you just contradicted everything you just got through saying about believing your happiness came from within yourself. But do you know that that's what we do all the time? We do that all the time. We know the truth. All of us do. We know the truth, but can you put that into practice? Well, the Course says, well, the way that you're going to put it into practice is that you accept it. It's true. For instance, if I got a fire extinguisher in my kitchen and I have a grease fire, I'm not going to run into the bathroom and then get a sponge. Why? Because I know that that's not what's going to be the solution to what I'm going through right now. So when you accept something is true, you just do it. You go right to it. It becomes your first way of handling whatever comes up. So if you want to know what you believe, I can tell you how you can find out real quick what you really believe. Would you like to know how you can find out what you really believe? You can tell what you really believe really quickly by how you handle upset. If when you go through, whatever you do when you get upset, that's what you believe the most. If you say you believe, let's say you believe in the principles of love that the Course in Miracles is teaching, but now you're upset that you don't pick the Course book up and you don't try to remember anything the Course says and you don't read, then that's not what you really believe the answer is. Because whatever I think the answer is, that's going to be the first place I head. So whatever you do first, whenever you got a problem, that's what you believe in the most. So if you want to find out what your beliefs are, Pay attention to how you handle upset, not the way you handle feeling good. See, I watch how people act when they're upset. So I don't care how peaceful you are around me, and let's say I see you go off on somebody where I'm sitting there right next to you about some minor thing that they did. I know that's exactly what you would do to me. Now, my specialness is going to tell me you wouldn't. Because that's how the course calls our specialist. That's how it gets us. It said, well, they would never go off on you like that. Because you're special. And then that's the universe. And you're seeing exactly how this guy that you're going out with, or this friend you're with, you're seeing exactly how they handle grievances. So if they have a grievance with you, they're going to cuss you out too. And they're going to separate from you too. And they're going to lose their temper with you too. 9 times out of 10, they're going to do exactly what you see them doing to that other person. So don't you fool yourself by thinking you would be different if they really got into their ego, if they really went into fear. And because when people go into fear and when they go into their ego, they are insane temporarily. They go insane temporarily. They're insane temporarily. That's not the person that you're usually in a relationship with when you're with the person that's upset. That is not the person that you are normally with and that you normally know. So they don't act like the person that you believe in because they are afraid now. And they're so afraid that they're acting from their conditioning and they're not acting from their thinking. I love it. I love it. So I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, and then I'm going to share one more time how you do that in a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to take this moment before I do a quick recap. Those of you, I do this and I share this on a love offering basis, on a donation basis, and if you would like to share, which would be wonderful, I appreciate it, then go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, Earl Purdy, Purdy.com. You can use Venmo, you can use Zelle, you can use PayPal. My email is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com, and also the Cash App. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Those of you who have been supporting my teaching ministry on every level, I appreciate you. I appreciate you regardless of what you do or don't do financially. I just want you to know I value you. But that's why I'm trying to be honest with you about where direction I'm going in right now is remembering practical application. That's going to be the focus. How do we take with the Course in Miracles? How do I have this peace that it's talking about? How can I go out in what I think of as this world and still have the peace that I want to have? And how does the Course say that I do it? So I need help. I can't do this by myself. I want to remember. He says we need to learn how to remember together. We need to remember together. Wow. Those of you who have personal issues and you want to be mentored or coached, or just you want to get some counsel about how to look at some things from a Course in Miracles perspective to heal some situation that you may be going through. I do what I call clarity sessions. And if you go to my website and look on the clarity sessions, it explains my services in detail. And you can self-book an appointment with me right online. And those who are open and receptive to it, I've also been an astrologer and a numerologist for over 40 years. And it's just another way that Spirit can communicate with us, because the Course in Miracles teaches that our higher power just sees everything that we do as a way to communicate, a way to use us to get the message across. It also says that if you were to do what you came into this world to do, you would always be given what you need to stay. That if you were really fulfilling your function, you would have no needs, in the sense that you would know you were doing the thing that Spirit would give you what you needed to stay. So if you're doing something every day that you get no joy out of, no satisfaction out of, as quick as you can, you need to get away from that job or whatever that is that's not bringing you any kind of inspiration or any kind of joy. Because that's not what your Creator is telling you to do. You may be doing it for security, but it's not coming from your true self. Anything that comes from your true self, according to this, is something that's going to give you peace and joy, and you're going to feel inspired. So who's the right person for me to be with? A person that I feel inspired when I'm with them. I feel like I'm a better person. I feel like I've grown in some way. I feel more open. I feel more love in my heart. How do I know when I'm on the right job? I feel inspired. I feel inspired to do what I do. Are you inspired? Are you turned on by what you do? Are you turned on by who you're with? So on Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, we do Facebook Live on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I do hardcore Course in Miracles. This is another Course in Miracles class that's geared toward people who are studying a Course in Miracles. So why am I putting so much focus on who's studying the course? Because I've spent over 40 years of my life studying and teaching this material. And I want to share it. And I want to share it with those who really, and thank you for being here. So don't take this as any kind of criticism. I'm just asking for what I want. And that's what you need to do. And the Course in Miracles says this is what you should ask for. It says ask to be able to recognize what you already have. He said that's the most powerful prayer anybody can do. What are you talking about? Ask to be able to recognize the love that's already available to you. Ask to be able to recognize the abundance that's already available to you right now. But you might not know it, and you might not see it, and you might not be. That's why you're unhappy, by the way, because he says, well, you don't see. If you saw it, you wouldn't be unhappy. If you saw it, you would be excited. So the problem is, I hear you talking about all this stuff, Earl, but I don't see it. But because you don't see it, doesn't mean you don't have it. When you lose something, all that means is you don't recognize where you left it. It doesn't mean the thing doesn't exist anymore. If I lose my watch, it doesn't mean my watch doesn't exist anymore. It just means I don't remember where I left it. So the people, the situations, the things that would bring you joy, you just need to know where it already is. So ask to be able to recognize the love that's already there, the joy that's already there. I want to recognize the people that love me that's already there. I want to be able to recognize what's already there. Do you want to be able to recognize what's already there? Okay, I guess you don't. y'all are being so helpful to me in ways you don't even realize. So the truth, first to be said, I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And notice, what am I doing? Repeating it. And using rhythm. Rhythm is one of the 7 universal laws, as a matter of fact. Rhythm. Things kind of stick with you more when you remember it and when you repeat it. So that's what I'm going to do for a couple of minutes, or for a few minutes. Now you can listen, so we're going to go through the steps again. Here we go. You can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, all thoughts that hurt. What can you do, Earl? I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, all thoughts that hurt. Do you mean the thoughts that I think all day that cause me pain? The thoughts that I think that cause you fear, anxiety, and upset? You can elect to change those thoughts. You can elect to change those thoughts. You can elect to change those thoughts. Well, Earl, can you tell me how I change my thoughts? How can I change my thoughts? How can I change my thoughts, Earl? Can you tell me how I change my thoughts? Well, you have to say the truth. Could you give me an example, Earl, of what you mean by that? Well, okay. What's the lesson that we're working on? It's called, I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. What? I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Okay, so say it. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Listen, first to be said and then repeat it many times. What? you have to say it and then repeat it many times. You have to accept it partially. Next, you will probably accept that new thought partially, but with some reservations. Many reservations. He says, then you are to consider what you heard today seriously more and more. That means you are not a victim of the world you see. It means that you are entitled to miracles. You are entitled to miracles. I am entitled to miracles. First to be said, I am entitled to miracles. And then to be repeated, I am entitled to miracles. Oh my God. You don't know what I did last week though. I don't know if I'm really entitled to love and only love. You don't know what happened in that conversation I had last night, or you don't know what I did last week. You saying I'm entitled to miracles. And I've been repeating it, Earl, but I still have some reservations, and I don't always feel like I deserve love, and I don't always love myself the way that I should. Sometimes I criticize myself. Sometimes I judge myself. But you said that I am entitled to miracles. I'm going to say it. I am entitled to miracles. I'm going to say it over and over again. I am entitled to miracles. And I'm going to start seriously considering it. Maybe I am not as bad as I sometimes think I am. Maybe there's more love inside of me for me than I realize. Maybe, just maybe, because I'm telling myself over and over again that I'm entitled to miracles, maybe it's just a possibility that I might really and truly deserve love. Maybe that could be true. Maybe I do. Maybe it's possible. Say it over and over and over and over and over. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Two arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, we are one. Now let's come together and understand that Christ was born inside of every man. He's waiting for us to choose him as ourselves. When you choose him, you know you choose. I just want to love you more. I just want to love you more. I just want to learn how to love more. I just want to be what I want to have more. I want to change every thought that keeps me from loving you. Guess what? You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? change all thoughts that hurt. Guess what? I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. You can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. You can elect to change all. See, I'm doing what I'm being told. I'm actually saying it. I'm saying it. The same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Our Creator, what you've given cannot hurt us. So grief and pain must be impossible. Let us not fail to trust in you today. Accepting but the joyous as your gifts. Accepting but the joyous as the truth. We can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. We can elect to change any thought that hurts us. Thank you, mighty companions, and may the course be with you.